I need to tell someone what I did, and you're gonna think I'm pathetic. But there's something about being in a relationship that nobody warns you about. The suffocation. The way your life becomes this tangled mess of we instead of I. I told my boyfriend I missed being single, and I meant it as honesty, as vulnerability, as a way to let him in on the complicated feelings swirling in my head. I thought that's what you're supposed to do in relationships, right? Communicate? Be real? Now he's out there acting like he doesn't have a girlfriend. And I'm the one sitting at home spiraling, checking his location, refreshing his Instagram stories, feeling like I'm losing my mind. And the worst part, the part I've never told anyone, is that I set this whole thing in motion on purpose. Sort of. I need you to understand the full context before you judge me, because what I did next makes me look even worse. If I don't tell the story, you'll just see me as another jealous girlfriend who can't handle what she asked for. But once you know what I know, you'll see why I'm actually justified in feeling this way. This isn't just about me missing the freedom of being single. It's about the fact that I've been suffocating under the weight of being someone's entire world. And when I finally tried to create some breathing room, he took it as permission to act like I don't exist. I'm going to tell you everything, including what I found on his phone last week. And the part that makes me look worst, I'm saving that for the end, because you need to understand how we got here first. Marcus and I had been together for 2 years when I said it. 2 years of the kind of relationship that everyone on the outside envied. He was attentive, caring, always planning dates, always wanting to spend time together. Always. Every single night, every weekend, every lunch break when possible. My friends would see his sweet comments on my posts and tell me how lucky I was. My mom loved him. His family already called me their future daughter-in-law. And I felt like I was drowning. It started small, this feeling. I'd be getting ready to go out with my girlfriends, and he'd get this look on his face. Not angry, not controlling, just sad, disappointed. Like a puppy watching you leave. He'd say, "Have fun," with this tone that made me feel guilty for going. So I'd invite him along, and he'd come. And then it wasn't girls' night anymore. It was just us, with my friends as background noise. Or I'd mention wanting to take a pottery class, and suddenly he signed us both up for couples pottery. I wanted to go to yoga on Saturday mornings alone, and he'd be hurt that I didn't want him there. "I just want to spend time with you," he'd say. "Is that so wrong?" No, it's not wrong. That's the thing that made me feel crazy. How do you complain about someone loving you too much? How do you explain to your friends that you're feeling suffocated when their boyfriends barely text them back? I felt ungrateful, broken somehow. But I also felt like I was disappearing. I'm 32. I was single for most of my 20s. Not because I couldn't get dates, but because I actually liked my life. I had my routines, my friend groups, my hobbies. I traveled alone sometimes. I'd spend entire Sundays reading in coffee shops. I knew who I was. Then Marcus came along, and slowly, methodically, without either of us really noticing, I became half of a unit. Our friends became couple friends. My hobbies became our hobbies. My apartment became our apartment, even though his name wasn't on the lease. My time became our time. The breaking point came on a random Tuesday. I'd had a terrible day at work. My boss had criticized a project I'd spent weeks on. And I just wanted to come home, order Thai food, and watch trashy reality TV in my underwear. Alone. Just decompress by myself. Marcus was already there when I got home. He'd made dinner. Healthy salmon and quinoa. He'd picked out a documentary about climate change for us to watch. He was so proud of himself, so eager to take care of me. And I wanted to scream. Instead, I ate the salmon. I watched the documentary. I felt him glancing at me throughout, trying to gauge my mood, asking if I was okay every 10 minutes. And I felt this rage building inside me that I couldn't explain or justify. That night, after he fell asleep, I lay there staring at the ceiling, and I let myself think the thought I'd been pushing away for months. I miss being single. Just when I thought I'd have to keep that thought locked inside forever, he woke up and asked me what was wrong. It was 2 a.m. I should have said nothing. I should have gone to sleep. Instead, I said it. I miss being single sometimes. The silence that followed felt like falling. I could feel him go rigid next to me. I rushed to explain, to soften it, but the damage was done. He got up, turned on the light, and asked me what the hell that meant. Not like that, I said. I don't want to break up. I just miss having time to myself. Space. Independence. I feel like I've lost myself a little. He stared at me like I'd spoken another language. I give you space, he said. You're here every single day, Marcus. You're always here. Because I love you. Because I want to be with you. I thought you wanted that too. I do, but not every second. I need room to breathe. What happened next, I didn't expect. I thought he'd be hurt. I thought we'd have a long, emotional conversation. Instead, he just nodded slowly and said, "Okay, I hear you." The next day, he didn't text me good morning. He always texted me good morning. When I texted him, he responded with short answers. Fine. Busy at work. Talk later. I should have felt relieved. This is what I wanted, right? Space. Instead, I felt anxious. By day 3 of his new distant behavior, I was checking my phone constantly. He didn't come over that week. Didn't ask about my weekend plans. When I suggested dinner on Friday, he said he'd made plans with his boys. His boys? Marcus never chose his friends over me. That was part of the problem. "Oh," I said, trying to sound supportive. "That's great. Have fun." "Thanks. You should do something with your friends too. You know? Enjoy being single." The way he said it, with this edge I'd never heard before, it made my stomach drop. That Friday night, I went out with my girlfriends like I'd been wanting to do for months. I should have had a great time. Instead, I kept checking his Instagram story. He'd posted from a bar. Him and 3 guys I barely knew. And a girl. Well, 2 girls actually. But one was definitely touching his arm in the group photo. "Who's that?" I asked my friend Jess, showing her my phone. "Does it matter? You wanted space." I wanted space from him being at my apartment every night, not from him posting with random girls. Jess gave me this look, this knowing, pitying look. "Sarah, you can't have it both ways." But why not? Why couldn't I have a boyfriend who gave me room to breathe, but also didn't immediately start acting single the second I mentioned needing independence? I didn't text him that night. I wanted to. I typed out messages and deleted them. Each one sounded crazy. Who were those girls? Why are you out so late? I thought you'd at least check in. The old Marcus would have checked in. Would have texted me throughout the night. Would have called me when he got home. This Marcus posted another story at 1 a.m., clearly drunk, clearly having the time of his life. When he finally texted me on Saturday afternoon, it was casual. "Hope you had fun last night. Who were those girls in your story?" I couldn't help myself. Friends of friends. Why? Just curious. I thought you wanted me to have my own life. He wasn't wrong. That's what made it so maddening. I did want him to have his own life. I just didn't want him to have one that didn't include me at all. The next few weeks were torture. Marcus had completely changed. He'd go to the gym without asking if I wanted to come. He'd make plans without consulting me first. He stopped doing the little things he used to do, like bringing me coffee or sending me funny memes during the day. And I hated it. Everyone thinks he's the villain in this story, punishing me for being honest. But the truth is, I'm the one who ruined everything. And here's what really happened. I started picking fights. Not big ones at first, just little comments. He'd mention plans with friends, and I'd make a sarcastic remark about how he was suddenly so busy. He'd go to the gym, and I'd ask if he needed to go every single day. He'd post a story without me in it, and I'd ask why he was acting like he didn't have a girlfriend. You said you missed being single. He'd remind me calmly. I'm giving you what you wanted. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean, Sarah? I couldn't articulate it. How do you explain that you want independence except for when you don't? That you want space except you also want to be someone's priority? That you want him to give you room but also chase you? I thought I was going crazy until I talked to Jess about it one night over wine. Too much wine. He's manipulating you, she said. You expressed a need. And instead of working with you to find balance, he's punishing you by going to the opposite extreme. Yes, exactly. That's what it felt like. Punishment. You should talk to him, she said. Tell him this isn't what you meant. But I was scared. Scared that if I did, I'd look crazy. Scared that I'd have to admit I didn't actually want the space I'd asked for. Scared that he'd see me as the mess I was becoming. Instead of talking, I started checking up on him, not in an obvious way. Just little things. I'd notice he'd stopped sharing his location with me, so one night when he said he was at the gym, I drove by to see if his car was there. It was, but that didn't make me feel better. It made me feel worse. Because what was I doing? Who had I become? Just when I thought I'd hit rock bottom with my paranoia, I saw her. Marcus posted a story from a coffee shop. Our coffee shop. The one we'd gone to on our first date. And in the background, blurry but definitely there, was a woman. Dark hair, laughing at something. I called him immediately. Hey, what's up? He sounded genuinely happy to hear from me. That made it worse somehow. Are you at Morrison's? Yeah, just grabbing coffee. Why? Who are you with? Pause. A friend from work. Why? A female friend? Another pause. Longer this time. Sarah, what's this about? You're at our place with another woman. It's a coffee shop. We don't own it. And yes, my colleague is a woman. We're working on a project. On Sunday? The deadline's Tuesday. Look, I thought you'd be happy I'm not bothering you on your weekend. Isn't this the space you wanted? I hung up. Actually hung up on him, because I couldn't find words that didn't make me sound unhinged. He didn't call back. That was 3 weeks ago, and things have only gotten worse. Not between us exactly. We're still together, technically. We still see each other a couple times a week. We still say, I love you. But there's this distance now that I created and can't figure out how to close. And he seems fine with it. That's what's killing me. He's completely adjusted to this new dynamic, where we're basically two independent people who occasionally spend time together. He has his life, I have mine, and they overlap less and less. I stalked the woman from the coffee shop on LinkedIn. Her name is Amanda. She works in his department. She's pretty. In her Instagram photos, she's always at concerts, hiking, doing interesting things. Her life looks full and exciting. I haven't told anyone that I looked her up, or that I've looked multiple times, or that I noticed Marcus liked her recent post about a work presentation. My friends think I got what I wanted. My mom keeps saying how healthy it is that Marcus and I have our own lives. Even my therapist, who I started seeing 2 weeks ago, seems to think this is positive growth in our relationship. But they don't see what I see. They don't notice that he's different. Happier, maybe. Like something was weighing him down before, and now it's gone. Was it me? Was I the weight? I tried to talk to him about it last week. He came over for dinner, the first time he'd been to my apartment in 2 weeks. I made his favorite pasta. I wore the dress he loves. I thought maybe we could reconnect. "This is nice," he said, and he meant it. But there was something casual about the way he said it, like he was enjoying a pleasant evening, not a romantic dinner with his girlfriend. "I miss you," I said halfway through the meal. "I miss you too." He reached across and squeezed my hand. "Do you, though? You seem fine with everything." He set down his fork. "Sarah, you told me you needed space. I'm giving it to you. Would you prefer I go back to smothering you?" "You weren't smothering me. I was just overwhelmed. But this feels like you've checked out completely." "I haven't checked out. I'm right here." "But you're not really. You're different. Distant." He sat back in his chair, studying me. "You're upset that I'm getting you exactly what you asked for. That's not fair. Isn't it, though? For 2 years, I showed up for you every single day. I prioritized you. I made you my world. And you told me it was too much. So I adjusted. Now you're mad that I adjusted." "I'm not mad. I just don't understand why it's so extreme. Why it has to be all or nothing." "It's not all or nothing. I'm still your boyfriend. I still love you. I'm just also trying to respect what you said you needed." The thing is, he wasn't wrong. Logically, rationally, he was doing exactly what I'd asked for. But emotionally, it felt like he was slipping away, and I was the one who'd pushed him. That night, after he left at 10, instead of staying over like he used to, I did something I'm not proud of. I texted him that I wanted to talk about something important. He called immediately, concerned. And I lied. I told him I was feeling weird about us, that maybe we needed to reassess things. I wanted him to fight for me, to panic, to show me that he still cared as much as he used to. Instead, he was quiet for a long moment, and then said, "If that's what you think we need to do, we can talk about it. When do you want to meet?" He was agreeable, understanding, calm. I backtracked immediately. "Never mind, I'm just in my head. Forget I said anything." "Sarah, if you're not happy, we should talk about it." "I am happy. I'm fine, really, but I'm not fine. I'm the opposite of fine." I thought that maybe if I started acting more interested, more available, he'd come back to me. So I started texting him more, suggesting plans, being the one to initiate everything. And he'd respond, say yes to the plans, be perfectly pleasant. But there was no urgency anymore, no neediness. I'd become the needy one, and the role reversal was suffocating. Everyone online thought I was fine. I posted photos of us from a date last weekend, captioned it with a heart emoji. I got 200 likes, comments about how cute we are, how lucky I am. But privately, on that date, I'd spent half the time wondering if he was thinking about Amanda. I'd asked him about her casually over drinks. "How's that work project going with Amanda?" "Fine, almost done. She seems cool." "She is. Smart, good at her job. Pretty, too." He looked at me then. Really looked at me. "Are you jealous of Amanda?" "No, just making an observation." "Sarah, nothing's going on with Amanda. She's married." I didn't know that. I felt stupid, but also not entirely relieved, because the problem wasn't really Amanda. The problem was that I'd created distance, and now I didn't know how to close it. I'm going to tell you the part that makes me look worst now. The thing I hadn't told anyone, not even Jess. Last night, I drove to Marcus's apartment without calling first. I told myself I was just in the neighborhood, that I'd see if he was home and wanted to hang out. But really, I wanted to catch him off guard. See what he was doing when he wasn't expecting me. His car was there, but he didn't answer when I knocked. I could hear the TV through the door. I knocked again, louder. When he finally opened the door, he looked confused. "Sarah, what are you doing here?" I was nearby. Thought I'd stop in. He stood in the doorway, not inviting me in immediately. That had never happened before. "I'm kind of in the middle of something." "Like what?" "Just watching a movie." "It's not a great time." "Is someone here?" "What? No, I'm alone. I just wasn't expecting you." He let me in, finally, and I could see he was telling the truth. He was alone, in sweatpants, with a beer and a pizza. His phone was face down on the coffee table. "Who were you texting?" I asked. "Sarah." "What is going on with you?" "Nothing. I'm just wondering who you were texting when I showed up uninvited." "My brother. About our parents' anniversary gift. Want to see?" He picked up his phone and showed me. He was telling the truth again, and I felt insane again. "I should go," I said. "Yeah, maybe that's a good idea." I started crying in my car in his parking lot. Called Jess sobbing, and she told me what I already knew. I needed to either fix this or end it. But how do you fix something you broke by being honest? How do you take back a truth you spoke? This morning, I did something even worse. I went through our old texts, all the way back to the beginning, and I found exactly what I remembered, evidence that I was the problem all along. Early in our relationship, I'd loved his attention. I'd texted him constantly, asked him to come over every night. When he'd suggest giving me space, I'd tell him I didn't need it. I'd literally said in a text from 8 months into dating, "I love that you want to spend all your time with me. I never feel smothered." That was true then. When did it stop being true? I think it stopped being true when it started feeling permanent. When his toothbrush lived at my place, and his mom started texting me directly, and everyone assumed we'd get married. When it went from exciting to expected. When I started feeling like I couldn't change my mind about wanting someone around all the time without being the bad guy. So I said I missed being single, thinking it would create a small adjustment. More girls' nights, more solo hobbies, maybe 1 or 2 nights a week to myself. Instead, I created this chasm, and Marcus just stepped back from it instead of trying to bridge it. Or maybe, and this is the thought that keeps me up at night, maybe he was relieved. Maybe being my entire world was exhausting for him too. Maybe when I gave him permission to step back, he realized how much lighter life could be without the weight of my expectations. Everyone thinks they know what happened. They think I'm the cool girlfriend who successfully set boundaries and now has a healthy relationship with independence. They don't know that I cry in my car after leaving his place. They don't know that I've started sleeping in his old t-shirt because it still smells like him, and I miss when he was around enough that I didn't have to preserve his scent on clothing. They don't know that yesterday I almost texted him I was wrong. I don't miss being single. I miss you. Come back. But I can't say that, because he'd point out that he's still here, still my boyfriend, still showing up when I ask. And he'd be right. He hasn't actually gone anywhere. He's just stopped centering his entire life around me, which is what I said I wanted, which is apparently not what I wanted at all. I went to coffee with Jess this afternoon, and she could tell something was wrong. I've been off for weeks, and she's my best friend. She knows. Just talk to him, she said. Tell him the truth. That you overcorrected. That you want to find a middle ground. What if there is no middle ground? What if it's either suffocating closeness or this awful distance? Then you figure out if you can live with the distance or if you need to let him go. Let him go. The thought made my chest physically hurt. What if he's happier this way? I asked. Then you have your answer. That's what I'm afraid of. That the answer is already here, written in his easy adjustment to my absence. In the way he fills his time without me now. In how he doesn't need me the way he used to. I used to be annoyed by his need. Now I'd give anything to be needed like that again. Tonight, he's out with friends again. He told me about it this time. Invited me even. But I said no, because I wanted to see if he'd be disappointed. He just said, "Okay, have a good night," and that was it. So, I'm sitting here, alone, exactly as I said I wanted to be. I have my space, my independence, my time to myself. And I'm miserable. The worst part about what happened isn't what you think. It's not that I asked for space and got it. It's not that Marcus changed, or that I'm jealous, or that I don't know how to fix this. The worst part is that I'm realizing I didn't actually want to be single. I wanted to be the version of myself I was when I was single. Confident, independent, whole on my own. But I thought I could be that person, while also having someone worship me, prioritize me, make me their world. I wanted the validation of being someone's everything, without the responsibility of being present for it. And now I'm getting exactly what I deserve. A boyfriend who treats me the way I said I wanted to be treated. Which turns out to be not at all how I actually want to be treated. I could tell him this. I could confess that I was wrong, that I miss him, that I want to go back to how things were. But I won't. Because what if he says he doesn't want to go back? What if he likes this version of us better? What if I've shown him that loving someone less is easier, and he's decided that's the smarter way to be? What if I've taught him that I'm not worth the effort he was putting in? So instead, I sit here, checking his location on the map, even though he turned off sharing, refreshing his Instagram, even though he barely posts anymore, waiting for a text that used to annoy me, and now would make my entire day. I told him I miss being single, and now I'm the one who feels single. Alone. Untethered. Exactly what I thought I wanted. And the real confession, the one I can barely admit to myself, is that I don't know if I actually miss him, or if I just miss being wanted. I don't know if I love Marcus, or if I loved being loved. I don't know if I'm upset because I'm losing him, or because I'm losing the power I had in the relationship. Maybe that makes me terrible. Maybe it makes me human. Probably both. All I know is that I created this mess by being honest about the wrong thing. I told him I missed being single, when what I should have said was that I was scared. Scared of losing myself. Scared of commitment. Scared of being so loved that I'd inevitably disappoint him. And now I'm more scared than ever. Because I'm losing him anyway. Slowly, by degrees, and it's entirely my fault. He texted me 20 minutes ago. Heading home. Wanna talk tomorrow? I stared at that message for 10 minutes before responding. Sure. What about? Just us. I think we need to check in. My heart is pounding. This is it. This is either where we fix things, or where it ends. And I don't know which one I'm hoping for anymore. Actually, that's a lie. I know exactly what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping he'll tell me tomorrow that these past weeks have been hell for him too. That he misses me. That he was just trying to give me what I asked for, but he hates it as much as I do. I'm hoping he'll fight for us. For me. The way I'm too proud and too scared to fight for him. But more likely, he's going to tell me that he's been thinking. And maybe we want different things. Maybe we're not compatible. Maybe the person I am now needs something he can't give, and that's okay. And I'll have to sit there and agree because disagreeing would mean admitting that I was wrong. That I didn't know what I wanted. That I've spent the last 2 months destroying something good. Because I was too immature to appreciate it while I had it. So that's where I am. Waiting for tomorrow. Knowing I've ruined everything. Knowing I have no one to blame but myself. And still, somehow, feeling like the victim in all this. Like he should have known what I really meant. Like he should have fought harder instead of just accepting my words at face value. That's the thing about confessing your truth, I guess. Sometimes people believe you. Sometimes they give you exactly what you say you want. And sometimes, you realize too late that you were lying to yourself the whole time.